All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to I guess this would be our second, but at the time it didn't have a name. So, welcome to our first official midweek Nscrs show here, our own version of our race day. I'm Dual Sensory, joined alongside by league owner and driver of the 56 Me Side truck in the Interstate Series, Hayogi. How you doing today, Hayogi?
Let's get ready for this show.
Yeah, well, we got a action-packed lineup here of topics. We'll be having a surprise driver join us here shortly. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and bring him on now. You may know him as multiple-time Daytona 500 champion, the all-time winningest driver in NSCRS. Welcome in, Extinct Bonnie.
Thank you.
Extinct, how you doing today, man? So you got
So
the
Mexican,
Gatorade,
dude.
got the Gatorade colors on today.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. Thank you for bringing me on the show, first of all. Looking forward.
All right. Well, I think we need to just kind of start with last week Interstate Series at Rockingham. We're going to cover the Rockingham weekend here, starting with the Truck Series. Now, I unfortunately didn't get to call that race as I had personal issues at the moment, but I heard it was. I heard it was according to Beavert, the guy who was officiating it. Heard it wasn't all too great, but hey Yogi, I can't. It's not on the top of my brain. Were you participating in that race or?
Yeah, I remember it very well. Just like it was yesterday.
Kind of walk us through that there, being able to race around the rock in the truck series.
Well, there was really only one way to describe that race. It was one hell of a shit show. Everyone would just junk each other every 5 laps. It was kind of awful, actually. So I'm not excited for Friday. I'm not. I'll be truthful. I'm not excited to go drive again.
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a madhouse, and at the end of the day, Al Capone was able to get it done for his team in the 32.
He jumped me, man. He moved me off track.
Oh,
dude, more than moving.
Is there some possible beef here? Is there going to be a retaliation maybe this coming week from you, Heavy?
No, I would do the same thing. I would have absolutely done the same thing.
Oh, let's
Look at this fat piece of shit and goddamn in front of the camera, you fucking loser. Oh
wow.
No, I'm that Russian rocket might have to watch out this week, but that's about it.
Well, there's a reason why they call him the Russian rocket is when he's not going
retard.
fast, then he's crashing and burning. Kind of like some test rockets. Well, anyways, it was not really the most. It was thrilling to watch, probably not thrilling to drive in. We'll we'll leave that bad memory behind then, and we'll shift into the Saturday night race. That was the Thunder Valley 250 at Rockingham debut points race for these brand new cars in this generation. We had a bit of both. We had some green flag stretches at the beginning and halfway point of the race, and then we saw the cautions kind of fall back to back to back. I know that you, Hayogi, you guys have put a lot of work in the off season over these cars. Did they kind of meet your expectations this weekend?
Well, we didn't necessarily have too many expectations going into this weekend, into last weekend, really. We were just kind of really just hoping that they would drive good and make good racing, and it seems like they did, and so I'm happy with them. It seems like there are still a few things that need to be worked on behind the scenes there with this new generation of car, but I mean, overall, yeah, It's about what we wanted.
And Extinct, as the driver, I know you didn't get to participate in Rockingham, couldn't make it, but you've been practicing these cars. Give us a driver's perspective on how these new cars feel.
Oh well, last season, the entire season, like the entire league's history, we've used tank chassis. You can't turn and brake, or else the car just goes straight. And with these new cars, it allows for different drivers to have more opportunities to win the race. Like, to take for example, like Maxim, I feel like he would do a lot better more this season rather than last season. Mostly because he can turn and brake. I'm pretty sure he probably wasn't used to just locking the brakes up every time he hits the brakes.
Bro, he was fucking awful last week. He was way worse.
I wasn't even there. But it allows more opportunities for these drivers to get more chances to be up front, see some clean air, and to see lead some more laps because of that turning and braking.
Yeah, I had some experience driving it this weekend. I mean, it handles pretty good. I've harped about how I like these cars. I think you guys, Hayogi, or your dev team, development guys you got at the R&D center, you guys put together a great car, and I think it's going to promote some pretty good racing this season. But it was a thrilling race to the finish there, and in Saturday's Cup race had some contenders really. In the beginning of the race seemed to be dominated by Limes, and then it kind of shifted towards everyone just trying to scramble for position. We saw Business lead some laps, Ski lead some laps, I would led some laps, but at the end of the day, your winner from that race was me, Dual Sensory, in that 88 car.
Ooh.
Getting his first win for Wolfpack Racing. So, it was pretty good, but that's in the past. I'm looking forward to this week here, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm ready for this weekend's worth of action here. Newly renovated facility here. Hayogi, kind of walk us through what was the reasoning for changing the facility?
Unscripted's model sucks. That's really it. Yeah,
And the crowd roars.
Past couple Vegas races, the model just hasn't been good enough. These guys drove on kind of just shit tracks the whole time. So
that's why we suck.
That's why you suck.
I won the race.
I killed your entire family with no remorse.
Like I had one to begin with.
You're Mexican,
Well,
of course you do.
Blame it on baby.
All right. Well, that Extinct, that leads me to another point that we can make. We were taking some practice laps, talking in the garage earlier. You said that in the past you love this track, you feel confident about this track. How would you rate your confidence going into this weekend? You think you can get win number 1 of the season?
He's leaking the script.
I don't feel confident at all with these new cars. I feel like I'm not going to be as competitive as compared to any of the other seasons. I just don't think I'm going to be fast at all, man. If I had to rate my confidence out of like 10, would probably be a 3 or a 2. I just don't enjoy driving these cars. I don't feel fast with them compared to the tank chassis.
Well, I know that you may say the confidence is down now, but I'm sure with a few couple of maybe even some wins, some top 3 finishes, that's how you can build confidence here. And if there's anyone who can get it done and can figure it out, it's the series' most winningest driver. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. Matter of fact, back at Daytona, my one of my co-hosts over here on the far left, he actually, he made the prediction you were going to win this whole damn thing at the end of the year. So you got a lot of there's a lot of faith out there. You got a huge fan base, probably the biggest in Nscrs, and they're all pulling for you. So you got an entire fan service behind you. But we're kind of jumping all over the place. But my notes here on my invisible desk right in front of me I wasn't prepared, but we'll kind of shift into the truck race. I should hopefully, barring any crazy things happening with my flights, I should be able to make it out here to Vegas and be able to call that race. Hopefully, but some heavy hitters, obviously yourself, Hey Yogi. We got Al Capone, defending race winner. He's stretching his legs over there. The chairs get pretty cramped. I don't blame you.
What's going on, bro?
But obviously you're always one of the betting favorites here when it comes to the trucks. But I'm gonna start to my left here, my immediate left. Extinct. Who do you think gets it done in the truck series this weekend?
My daddy's words.
Words Bond. Haven't really watched that much truck series drivers. Don't know much of the drivers, but I know Hayogi always is pretty fast at driving overall. He has a good shot to get it done. Al Capone, I know he's a good driver. If any of the Cub guys gets it done, like Business, Ski, any of those guys, I don't even know if Business can race it. It's really gonna come down to whoever can find the line the fastest and who can perfect it. It's all about like the consistency. Like you have at this track with these new cars, it's rewarding to be the most consistent driver when it comes to running your lines. So if I had to pick one to get it done, I'd probably pick Harry. I've seen what he can do. I've seen what the other competitors can do, and I know Hyogi's a veteran when it comes to driving, not only in this league but other leagues, and I think he can get it done this weekend.
All right, Hey Yogi, your thoughts on the race winner this weekend?
For which series?
Trucks.
Shit, I don't know. We're not. I didn't even put the practice at the right track. We're supposed to be at the bull ring. So I don't know. It could be anyone. It's a short track. They're gonna junk each other the whole time.
Well, I like the way you're thinking because the bull ring going to be bumper to bumper action, kind of like what we saw at the Battle of the Beach earlier this year. We just got to fight for your life just to make one complete lap around there. And who seems to come out unscathed and can crash into other people the most successfully? Maxine. So I'm going to go with him to win the truck series race at the bull ring on Friday. That's once again. That'll be here live on the Nscrs YouTube channel, the Interstate Truck Series at the Bull Ring, 7 p.m. Eastern. And the night after at 7 p.m. Eastern is the Nscrs Cup Series. They'll be racing here at Las Vegas. We're gonna tee it off with myself here on race predictions. Who we think is going to win at Vegas? I'm gonna go with Limes. He was pretty fast last week. He seems to have a good feel for these cars. I saw he was pretty fast in the test races that he participated in, and I think if he can just figure out that team can figure out the long run speed. They had a pretty fast car at the start of the race, but they didn't keep up with the adjustments. If that team can kind of keep adjusting the car as the track gets more rubber on it, I think he'll be a dominant force. Extinct, who do you got winning on Saturday?
When it comes to Cup drivers, the skill is like really spread out, skill range. You have some drivers that are good at like braking tracks, like Limes, Business, Ski, and you have other drivers good at other tracks, like Alex, Super Speedways, and more who really like dominate those tracks. And when it comes to Las Vegas, going over the last few races I've seen at Las Vegas in the Cup Series, I've seen Ski and Business and me probably dominate the most. Ski has been in some pretty good opportunities to win these races at Las Vegas in the Cup Series, but some things don't work out for him. Business too, some late race restarts don't really work out for him, and seeing how those go, especially season 3 is ending to his season, the championship. But I'm gonna push those us three aside and go with Mork. You know, I have confidence in him. You know, he's my driver. He's good at these tracks. You know, some tracks, hey now. I just feel like he can pull off late race restart. Like he's probably gonna start about midfield if there's like a late race restart. And I feel like he's gonna avoid all the chaos, no matter if there's a wreck or just chaos in general, like throwing each other. It's like more can get it done here if you avoid all of it.
Yeah, well, that's always one thing to look out for. Usually, we've seen it in now back-to-back races. These races come down to an overtime or even 2 laps to go, sprint to the finish. With that in mind, we'll turn it to Hyogi for the last pick of this show before we get into other topics. Hyogi, who do you got winning the Cup race at Vegas?
I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to go with you. You're kind of on fire right now, Dual Sensor. You are
That boy the flame.
fast at just about every track. I mean, I'd say you. I think.
Well, I do appreciate that. But, it's open to anybody. Anybody can win on any given Saturday. That's the beauty of the Nscrs. But, I kind of hinted briefly there, cautions and everything, and talking about race trends. From what we've been able to gather, it's going to be about possibly a 40 to 45, maybe if you're able to stretch it to 50-lap run on fuel, kind of what we saw last week at Rockingham. I believe there's about 200 or so, 260-something laps here around Vegas. If my math in my head that I'm doing off the fly is correct. We saw green flag pit stops last week. Matter of fact, it's the first ever green flag pit stops I was a part of. It's funny enough. Do we think, which it never really seems... I'll just kind of get both of you guys at the same time, because I feel like...
67 laps.
267, thank you. So about 5-6 mandatory pit stops, depending on how you space it out. I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be, but I always like to ask it, so we'll hear from both of you. Do we think there's going to be some actual fuel strategy to decide the race?
From what we saw last week, I think it could play a part.
Extinct?
Oh, well, going back to the few Las Vegas races we've had in this league, restarts usually tend to get really intense, caution breed caution. If they're packed together, there's a higher chance of wreck at pretty much every track. I feel like with these new chassis, it's going to get more spread out, let the dominant cars fly by the slow cars, and not have any, room for, cautions. So if they do get sideways, it's pretty hard to get spun. It's hard to get in a multi-car wreck from what I've seen in practice. I haven't really seen the races yet. So I feel like with all that in mind, it's going to get spread out on the restart. And once we get 5 laps on the restart, I think it's going to be spread out single file. And I do think it's going to come down to pit strategy. Maybe not come down to pit strategy for the race to win, but it will play a role.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, at Daytona, I was saying, fuel strategy is going to be a thing, and you guys were saying, oh, no, they're going to junk each other. So now you guys are saying fuel strategy.
Your own horn, bro.
You guys are saying they're going to fuel strategy, so I'm just going to go the other way, I guess. I don't know, to be honest. Yes, like you said, Extinct, like you said, Hey Yogi, I think we could see maybe some long runs. But at the end of the day, I feel like there's just going to be a caution or so with maybe 10 to go. That's just going to kind of ruin everybody's fuel strategy to where they all just can make it. And then we just have another classic demolition derby. But, it would be nice to see a nice green flag run to the finish. But, you never know. Like you said, Extinct, these cars get spread out. And we saw that at Rockingham, 2-3 second leads. Especially when these cars get side by side. They don't really exactly like to put down lap times. And Another thing that we saw, speaking of being side by side, is these guys have to kind of watch it here. We're doing some track testing. The front straightaway is a little bit tighter around the trioval than anticipated. 3 and 4 got a little bit tighter, and the horsepower as well got dropped a little bit. Hyoga, do you want to shed some more light on that?
Well, pretty simple. Cars were going about 215 in tests on corner entry at turn 1, so we had to slow them down and kind of make changes to the track to tighten them up a little bit.
And those adjustments, I feel like they've been hit flawlessly. It's gonna take, these are the best drivers, so it's gonna take the best performance because of, especially with these cars. I'm sure Extinct can probably verify this. If you make a little bit of a mistake, get out of the groove. Next thing you know, you're gonna lose a bunch of track time.
Yes.
So it demands perfection, but these are the best drivers that road racing has to offer. So we would expect nothing less from these drivers. So
Extinct, I'm killing your family.
What did I do? But yeah, like you said, going side by side, it really can affect if a car in front can pull away or not. If you're side by side for too long, you can expect probably 2 to 3 seconds lost to either the field if you're leading or the single driver. Battling, it's gonna come down to whoever has the most patience. I feel when it comes to these green flag runs, if you have the most patience on a either long green flag run or short green flag run, it's like you're gonna benefit from that. Let a car pass you, not battle, not to lose so much time. I feel like that's gonna show like maturity, really, when it comes to driving these new chassis.
Hey, Yogi, anything to add to that?
Not really. He kind of hit it spot on.
Oh,
Yeah,
baby.
well, I think for me personally, that's why I love these cars. We love side-by-side racing that doesn't involve wrecking each other. You can actually hold a line sometimes in these cars and can make it pretty fun, pretty dicey. It's definitely fun to drive. 2 more things here on the docket for this pre-race show. Pit road speed. I don't exactly know what it's gonna be yet. What is it gonna be, Hyogi?
55.
55. So same as last week at Rockingham. And last week we saw some people get busted for speeding. That in mind, do we think we see more people getting caught with the radar guns down there on pit road, or do we think drivers may have gotten their tachometers figured out last week?
No, absolutely, they're gonna get caught. There's no.
Oh,
shot.
without a doubt.
Without a doubt, there's going to be at least over 3 people who get caught speeding.
All right. Well, drivers better be careful.
Put your parlays on it.
Yeah. Well, that leads into the final segment of the show. I'm glad you said that, because when in Vegas, this segment,
Gamble.
Nscrs bets. Well, there's 3 drivers that I want to put on the table here. If you got a little bit of extra Robux you want to try and put towards winning something nice, winning some nice cold hard cash, we really should have an actual system set up. This would be huge for Nscrs profits. But
it's against TOS.
Well, it's all right.
That's if you get caught.
You right?
Exactly. I like that thing.
In question.
Well, here's my 3 sensory bets to close out the show here. I would bet, if I was a betting man when in Vegas, I think we see Alex get a top 3 finish. Some of these may be hot takes. I think a top 3 finish from Alex.
You need to do that to Alex, bro. Why? It's so
Top
mean.
top 3 finish. What? He's consistent. That's a good thing.
These might be hot takes.
These might be hot takes as I'm getting further down the list here. You got to give me a second here. But I was going to say dual sensory third place or worse. And that's my hot take. Because I don't think I'm going to be good.
No,
at
I
this
think your
track.
hot take at the first hot take was actually right.
Oh,
Just
no,
kidding.
no.
No, he's gonna
No.
be last.
All right.
I'll make sure.
Well,
Okay.
I said third or better for Alex.
Nope, last.
Okay, well, I wouldn't bet on that then, guys. And the last take is I gotta pick a pretty crazy one.
Pretty boys.
Let's see. I'm gonna predict the 1-2 finish here. All right. Well, I got Limes, obviously, and then second place I got Ski, and then obviously third place would be Alex. So that's my last. Nice. We just got rammed into by a 15 car.
Yeah, that's why he's getting wrecked.
Well, that's
Getting out of here.
Sensory's bets. So, gentlemen, I can't think of anything else. Stink, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just kind of want to add on to the side by side and battling little tidbit.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So with these new chassis, contact really can detriment like overall performance. If you hit the wall too hard, that might break, bend a wheel, align it badly. Like you see right there, whenever that retard 15 hit the thing, his entire suspension lifted up. That could cause some damage if you hit the wall. Any wall, actually, on the track. It also can damage it if you door somebody too hard. And if you do that, I'm not sure if it still goes that way, but in practice at Rockingham, I wasn't there for the race. If you would door someone, like tap him barely, it would fly up the track loose speed and you can't turn it. Okay.
Oh,
And not sure if that still is a thing, but it could be something to look out for. Something drivers definitely would want to avoid, unless not having a brain. So that's really all I had to add about it. Contact evil.
I agree. Drivers gonna be smart out there. Hey Yogi, anything to close up the show here?
Fan questions.
Oh yes.
I got some more to add.
If anyone's left in the chat
I got some more to add here.
Unless they left out of boredom, you can go ahead and put some words into the chat. If not, we'll probably just get out of here.
That 98 scheme, it's a brand new scheme made by
looks like shit.
Myself. Brand new scheme, brand new. That's like the first scheme I think Alex has had that isn't mainly orange, but he might have an orange primary scheme too. That is probably changed colors. Something to look out for. We paid those guys to make that scheme absolutely free, so we pretty much just robbed them and even put their logo on the car.
Huh.
Really, really good scheme. Shout out to me.
Well, we got one question that I can see here.
Mason, the show's already fantastic with you not running it. So we're peaking right now. We're at the top of Everest. Plant down this fucking American flag on it.
Well, that was a question. I wasn't gonna personally pick that one myself because they didn't use hashtag sensory pre-race show.
Hashtag kill his entire family is what we should do.
Well, we might make that next hashtag show. Great idea. But the other one is the grandstand renovations here should allow more fans to attend the speedway for this weekend's event. Do we think that's going to be? Do we think Las Vegas Motor Speedway will have that up by this weekend's race?
No, I don't have like maybe 5 people in the stands, and one Mexican will be working on it. So it'll probably be done.
All right. Well, hey, that's all that you'd like to hear. I
got more to add here now.
Oh, you do? Let's hear it then.
The fuck is this guy?
We got a fan down here watching the show. He's got that pre-race track pass.
VIP. And so with this new configuration of Las Vegas, really add some more detail we probably wouldn't have other seen in
Spoke.
other. We probably wouldn't have seen in other things and other models. Like you said, those Nscrs, those grandstands, brand new grandstands. Fans love it. Love it so much. They're stampeding down here. Just tell us how much they love it. And with those new renovations comes the walls. On those outside walls, with the safer barrier not being on the front stretch, much like it was back in the good old days, back in 1945. It sticks out the safer barrier. There's no safer barrier on the backstretch, meaning that it comes out entering the corner. And if you're not careful enough, these drivers, probably focus on other things, battling a car, so drafting a car, or running their line in general. It's easy to get distracted from seeing those walls sticking out. And if you hit those walls, it can send you right down to the apron, ruining your entire corner, probably lose about a second or two of time. It's really something you should look out for if you're a driver here, or if you're a driver.
Yeah.
Could be really evil to your line. And also, with these new cars, I want to talk some more again because I just love talking. With the new cars, like I was talking earlier about patience and maturity. If you have the ability to be confident in your car and your line, you'll be absolutely fast here. If you
I really wish there wasn't a gigantic fucking fat slobby fucking pig in the way. God damn, go back to the fucking shower and start eating again, you fat pile of trash. Human fucking garbage pile.
And so, if you aren't confident with your ability to drive these race cars here, you probably aren't going to be as fast or see as good as results as you would otherwise be. Like for example, out of turn number 4, the car gets a decent bit of rotation. You're able to probably exit it if you have a good enough line on the bottom. But if you're able to hit the gas early enough, you can exit it right about 190, I believe it was 185, something like that, and that can probably exit. That exit could make about a tenth or two, fighting under the car. This track is like mostly about speed. You can't believe it. If you aren't confident with your car, you might slide and hit that outside wall, and that might lose you some time, a lot of time. But if you have that confidence, you have the right line, you can gain about, like I said, 2/10. And this track, these new chassis overall, I think is a good thing for Nscrs in general. Drivers able to show more skill, even more than they had previously. And new faces you might see in Victory Lane. Much like the next-gen car with the NASCAR back in 2022 with like 7 new drivers in Victory Lane. So that's pretty much all I had to talk about. I just love talking. I love talking Tom.
Well, that's why we got you up on this show, Bunny. We like to hear from Nscrs most winningest driver. Hey, Ogie, any closing thoughts here?
No, I'm tired.
All right. Well, we got an actual legit question here, and then we're going to close it out. That is, when is the David Wolf experience going to be open? Obviously, the Wolf, driver of the 99, you just heard it. It's going to be open tomorrow. Well, you best believe I'm going to be there, so you better be there. You watching this telecast on the telly, you better be there. And yeah, if there's nothing left, gentlemen, that's gonna do it for the second, I guess you could say, pre-race show from Nscrs. Thank you everybody for coming out to watching this live show. We plan to do this every single week, and we will see you at Friday, 7 p.m. at the Bull Ring for the Interstate Battery Truck Series, and Saturday, 7 p.m. All times are Eastern for the Nscrs Cup Series. Take care, everybody.
Yo, I got a fart.